Welcome back. In this video, we will learn two sections, conditional and looping statements and functions, and let's get a quick start. Python supports three control structures, if, for, and while, but it does not support switch statements in C language. In Python programming, if statements are used to control exclusion of the control programmings, and the basic form is like that. If judge conditional length and as follows the statement 1. If the statement satisfies the judge conditional one, it will exclude the satisfied statement 1. If not satisfies conditional 1, it will judge if it satisfies the conditional 2. If it satisfies the conditional 2, it will exclude the statement 2. So as follows, like the work for. If we discern which one is dog, cat, or human, for example, depends on its weight. If the weight is larger than 40 kilograms, instead we have the weight. If the weight is larger than 40 kilograms, and we will print it's a man, and if not, then we will use the else. If weight is larger than 5 kilograms, then we print it's a dog. It's a dog. Something like that. If not, we will print it's not man or else, yes, else. And then we will print it's not a man or dog, it's a cat. So that's a statement works. The while statement in Python language is used to execute loop programs that, and the certain conditionals loop through a program to handle the same tasks that need to be repeated. When the condition of while statements is near a boiling force, and the loop will never end, forming the initial loop, also known as a dead loop. You can use the break statements in a loop to force a dead loop to end. If we wanted to print the age from 1 to 100, if the age is equal to 100, the statement will be false, and it will break the loop and print the goodbyes like that. In the Python language, the for loop can traverse any items of the sequence, such as a list, a dictionary, or string. The for statement is different from a traditional for statement. The form accepts iterative objects as its argument, and one element is iterated each time. If the list age equals the three numbers 6, 1, 60, and we use the for statement to access each element. If the number is equal to 6, we will print he is a boy, and his age is 6. If then we judge if the number is 60. If it is true, we will print he is the older man and his age is 60. So if not, the number must be 1, and we will print he is a baby and his age is 1. Python learns the one loop to nest in another loop. Syntax of loop nesting, we can use the two for statements like that, and we also use the two while statements like that. And this part you should do more practice to practice how to use the loop nestings. When we use the for or while loop, A break or conditional statement will be needed to stop the loop. Let's see the difference between break and continuous statement. The while statement has another important comment, that is continue and break. To skip the loops, continue skips the loop and break exits the loop. The judging conditional can also be a constraint, indicates that the loop must be true. A break statement terminates the for loop when needed. A continuous statement skips the following statements and starts the next round of the loops. That's the difference between the break and the continuous statement. And when we use it, it's very continuous to write our functions. Now we have learned the data containers and some statements. Let's learn the 6 parts, the functions. After the big structure of these functions is complete, you can exclude it through another functions call, or you can exclude directly from the Python property. So functions can improve the modularity and of application and the reuse of the code. Python provides some built-in functions such as print, and you can also create your own functions, which are called the user-defined functions. Let's see how to define functions. There are many following rules, and the function called block begin with the def keyword. The def keyword is an important one, and it is followed by the function name, and then we will use the parentheses. Any incoming arguments and independent variable array must be placed in mid of the parentheses, and parentheses can be used to define the arguments. The first line of the function can selectively use the document string to hold the descriptions of the function, and the function's character start with the color and the indents. Returns expressions in functions, and selective returns a value to the caller. Returning without expressions is referenced to the returns the none. That's something the rules to define a function. And after defining the function, we can use the name of the function to call it. If we first we define the tester, this function print if it's true, and we exclude this one, print any incoming strings and return the function, and we will print it, exclude it, and then we use the call. If we want to call the function, we use the function name, the test. I want to call user-defined function, and we will test call the same function again, and they print any and the result. In Python, a type belongs to an object, and a variable is of no types. For example, the variables a can be a list 1, 2, 3, also can be a string values. And when you call a Python function, you may use the formal argument types. The essential arguments must pass in function in the correct order, and the number of the arguments for calling should be the same as the defined. The keyword arguments and the functions are called closely, and the function calling uses keyword arguments to determine the value of incoming arguments. When a function is called, if the value of the default arguments is not transferred, it is considered that a default value is used. You may need a function to handle more arguments than those originally stated. These arguments are called indefined arguments and are not named when they stated. Python uses lambda to create anonymous functions. Lambda is only an expression, and its function body is much simpler than df. And the body of lambda is an expression, not a block of code. Only limited logic can be encapsulated in lambda expressions. A lambda function has its own namespace and cannot access arguments outside its own arguments list or in the global namespace. Although a lambda function may seem to write only one line, it is not the same as the C or C++ inline function. We can call small functions in Python without consuming stock memories. That will increase its operational efficiency. So what's the difference between them? Local variables defined within a function has a local scope, and the global variables defined beyond the function have the global scope. Local variables can only be accessed within stated functions, and global variables that are accessible within an entire program. When a function is called, all variables will have its scope. Now we know how to define anonymous functions. We often use the built-in functions in Python because it's very useful. In Python, there are system-related information modules, SYS, such as SYS average. That's pass the arguments from outside to the programs to the programs, and SYS daughter and step in and stder, and that's present the standard input and output, the files object of the error output respectively, and str in and read the line from the standard input, and there's the outright, the output A on the screen, and exist programs, and modules is a dictionaries that holds all important modules, and the platforms as well platforms, and gets the running OS environment and as the path. And this is a list, and that in case that the page list identifies the modules. Besides that, there are also many OS built-in functions. OS environment that contains the mappings between the environment variables, and the home can get the values of the environment variables home. This CHDIR, let's change the character working directory, and this get the current directory, and this get a variables group ID, and this get a group IDs, also get and this gets users the ID, and gets a validator ID, and this one, and set the great ID, and just boost to set the IDs, the users or the group, and this one, and gets the groups, and we will get a list user group names, and this one gets the user's login name, and this one gets the environment variables, and the set environment variables, and let's set the current permissions mask, and return the provised permission mask, and it is available in Unix and Windows. And OS systems use the system's call to run the CMD command. In this video, we learn how to use conditional and loop statements, how to define the function, how to call function, and some important SYS or OS functions. That will help you to use Python friendly. I hope you can practice it frequently and master these basics Python programmers. And in next video, we will introduce the Python main design philosophy, object-oriented, and how to set data and times, and how to use regular expressions, and how to operate our files. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.